Charles Schenck and Elizabeth Bayer were American socialists during the late arrival of the United States into the Great War in 1917. The United States had instituted a draft, a system of military conscription, and they had a statute which prohibited conduct which obstructed recruiting and enlisting in the armed forces. The US socialists opposed the draft, and they printed about 15,000 copies of a pamphlet which alleged that the draft was unconstitutional because it amounted to a system of servitude. For printing these brochures, they were each arrested. They raised the defence that the publication of the pamphlets was protected by their First Amendment right to free speech. By the time the case came before the Supreme Court, the war was already over, but the First Amendment question remained important. Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes delivered the unanimous decision, finding that the pamphlets did not constitute protected free speech. He famously said, "The most stringent protection of free speech would not protect a man in falsely shouting fire in a theatre and causing a panic." The court went on to find that the nature of free speech involved consideration of not just the words communicated, but also the circumstances in which they were communicated. In this case, the fact that the USA was at war and the fact that the pamphlets might hinder the war effort was held to be central to the issue of whether the pamphlets were protected free speech. Justice Holmes said, "The question in every case is whether the words used are used in such circumstances and are of such a nature as to create a clear and present danger that they will bring about the substantive evils that the Congress has a right to prevent. It is a question of proximity and degree. When a nation is at war, many things that might be said in time of peace are such a hindrance to its effort that their utterance will not be endured so long as men fight, and that no court could regard them as protected by any constitutional right." This case established the doctrine that incitement of a clear and present danger of an evil, which the Congress has a right to prevent, cannot be protected free speech, especially during time of war, although later wars, such as Vietnam, saw far greater tolerance of protest and even incitement of draftees to avoid the draft.